Welcome, welcome! I hit 20,000 subscribers just a few weeks ago, and in part to continue the trend, and also because I'll be gone for the holidays. Let's talk about my favorite Dragon Age 2 mods, because I can't be the only one who got a hunger to play Dragon Age 2 again after that teaser trailer. So, much like the last video, this isn't my full mod list, in part because I just don't really know what I have anymore, but these are at least the ones I can't play without, plus a few I just really like. In general, I like playing with the game with mods that blend in well with the vanilla texture, so if that's not your speed, you might not be too fond of these, but we'll see. If you've ever played Dragon Age 2 with the Dragon Age Origins save, you probably noticed a lot of bugs in your world state. It's well known that it's buggy, and really the best way to go around that is the Gib to Dragon Age save generator for Dragon Age 2. While I'm at the point where I don't really care if things are carried over correctly anymore, I highly recommend using this if that sort of thing really bugs you. What it does is it gives you questions to answer and creates a Dragon Age Origins file that Dragon Age 2 can read a lot easier than what you probably have. It's honestly pretty easy to use, so don't be too scared of it. If you have ever been bothered by the fact that Dragon Age 2 is the only game with a number and not a subtitle, I have some good news for you. As it turns out, when the game was in development, they did pick a subtitle, which was Exodus. They even made a graphic for it, but they decided against it for whatever reason. Lucky for us, it seems they actually kept the graphic in the files. An alternate title restores that for you. While it doesn't change the preloading screen when you start the game, all other titles that you will see will say Dragon Age Exodus, which I think is just a fun little what if. Were you ever bugged that even if you were playing a female hawk, the murals between the acts showed a male hawk? Well, turns out that was actually a bug, and there are female hawk murals in the files. So that, along with a few epilogue bug fixes, is what Dragon Age 2 epilogue restoration and fixes are for. If you're going in for a second playthrough, skip the intro is a godsend. The mod does skip the opening completely, and it cuts you right to character creation. So while you will miss the setup with Varric and Cassandra, it is just so nice not having to play the tutorial again and again and again, and it really just takes forever. So on your second playthrough, get this guy. So this sort of thing also bothered me in Dragon Age Origins, but no more bloody teeth is a must. I don't like the idea that all the characters are just casually eating blood all the time. That's super gross. One thing I really hated in the vanilla Dragon Age 2 textures was just the eyes. I don't even know what bothered me so much about them. I hated it. At First Sight by Zombie Zero is my favorite texture for eyes. It's realistic yet fits in with the rest of the game and other mods I'll get to in a bit, and I think it just really helps the face look just so much better. With the updated textures that you'll probably get for you and your companions, the other NPCs start to look a bit dated, but thankfully high-quality face textures for Dragon Age 2 by Tumblr user Helios, I believe, helps update them to look much more reasonable. If there is one thing that confused me the most about this game, it's how shiny all of the people looked. Why was that a thing? Why does this look the way it does? But anyway, Dragon Age 2 Deshined by Satham is great and pretty much required if you want to play a darker skinned hawk that doesn't look like they grease themselves up in the morning. If there is only one mod you can download, unique face textures for companions is honestly my vote. Some of the characters just look so dated and weirdly old for no reason, and this changes them to look so much better. It even gives Cassandra her scar that we see in Dragon Age Inquisition. One of the biggest flaws in Dragon Age 2 was that a lot of the characters that carried over were just, I don't even know, ruined. They just look so wonky. I honestly don't know what happened to some of these. But in general, these are the fixes that I use for characters. The official-ish Zevran fix for Dragon Age 2, alternate Alistair, and Inquisition Cullen. NPC Gear immersion tweaks is great in that it just cleans up a lot of the questionable clothing and weapon choices that some of the NPCs have. Now, I would recommend using this in a new playthrough, as pre-existing ones will result in people being naked and it's a little bit awkward, but for a new game, it's great. One thing that annoyed me when I first played is that while Fenris describes that his lyrium tattoos glow, in-game they don't really do that. He glows, but not the tattoos. Fenris Lyrium Ghost Fix Ultimate changes that, allowing the game to look like how they probably wanted it to. It also adds little dots that was originally seen in the concept art to his forehead, but we don't actually see it in game, so that's pretty cool. I also really like the Anders Awakening earring, just to give us a little hint of what he used to be, but that's really subtle and strange, so whatever. This is less a mod because it's really not that hard to do, although Change Hawk preset does exist. But in the Dragon Age 2 character creation, it won't let you change the vanilla Hawk faces. Turns out, what is actually happening is that any head in the first 2 slots will be locked out from being altered. So all you need to do to edit a vanilla face Hawk is just copy and paste the first 2 lines, and bam, you can edit your Hawk now. It's super easy to do by yourself. You don't actually need the mod for it. When I first booted up Dragon Age 2, I wanted to play a Hawk with a darker skin tone, and was a bit disappointed to find out that the game's vanilla skins weren't that varied. Natural skin is my favorite mod for darker skin tones, and it even gives you new options for your family so that everyone looks related. If you're wanting to play as a darker skinned Hawk, I have some bad news for you. There are a fair amount of armors that just don't tint right in the game. Even Sebastian has weirdly pink hands. I have not found one mod that does all of them, but currently I have these installed. Dragon Age 2 Armor Tint Fix, Robes of the Spiral Eye Hand Fix, and DLC Tint Fix. And that's it. While I do have a few more installed, that's basically the most noticeable things that I use. Again, thank you all so much for subscribing. It honestly means a lot to me, and I've grown so much in just a year. I can't even imagine what's going to happen when the next game comes out. I'm going to be so overwhelmed. Oh my god. But I look forward to see what the new year brings. So happy new year, and hopefully we get more Dragon Age 4 trailers out next time. Dress your all.